And we are back.
We are back, Bumble Bitches.
Episode 43 of Season 2 of the To Be Better podcast with your hosts, Chris and Peaches. You know what this means?
A lot.
You know what this means. I'm going to telepathy it to you. What does this mean? 43. What does that mean?
Oh, God. The only thing coming to my mind is the sexiest year of your life.
The telepathy failed.
It did.
It means that we have 9 episodes left till the end of the year.
We do. I got a tinge of that.
Did you?
A tinge of it, yeah.
Just couldn't run with it then?
Yeah, it was like somebody shouting it from across the street.
Gotcha. What's your name? Fuck you.
Love that bit.
We are... Can you believe that shit? I mean, technically we are at the 2-year mark because of the starting on TikTok, but official YouTube, Christmas is our marker.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
9
oh my
episodes.
gosh, 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm really sold on us being candy canes.
I'm sure that they make onesies for that.
Even with the hook.
We are going to have to find onesies if we're going to continue this tradition.
We have to. I thought it wasn't going to be a thing last year, but you're like, we have to get matching onesies, and now it's forever. We have to do it.
Yeah. The question is do we do 8 episodes and then a year in review and have Joka, AJ, or Carrie sit down and create a homage? That would be pretty cool. I should probably have Joka do that and get him to do that shit way early so that it's done, and do it as like a bonus episode. It's like a flashback or whatever.
You mean kind of like the thing last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that needs to be a yearly thing.
Yeah.
That made me emotional.
It was a lot of fun watching all the laughing and crying. Bless you. Don't do another one. 3 is all you get.
Oh, it's
Better put it away.
Oh, it hurts.
I always just squeeze my nose together like I'm going underwater.
I hate that tickling feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? We have a whole lot of things that we want to talk about, and I know that there are people out there who genuinely do not like the banter back and forth. So if you are watching on YouTube, we'll put a little text bubble that says where you can skip to just actually, oh wait, we don't have to do that. Never mind. I'm kidding. We're going to have our whole little back and forth, and you can just click in the description and find where the timestamps are for emails. That way they can just jump right into the email aspect of things, and we can do what we want to do, and it doesn't bother anyone. If you're listening on Spotify, you should go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to hit 250,000 by the end of the year. So, going to be wearing all of my To Be Better gear for the second birthday party. I guess I should tell everybody what I just did since, they can't see what we've got going. We are live on Patreon, like always, for our live recordings. We have 2 cameras and a giant-ass TV screen right there. So as you see me shift to do this, I'm reading comments and interacting and trying to be present with my friends. I want to do this. I get to look at my woman and be present in the conversation and interact with my friends.
Semi-present in a conversation.
Yeah. Talking about being semi-present, boy, this last 24 to 48 hours has been fucking rough for my brain. It has been so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. So what do we got on the agenda for today?
I'm working on my website again. I suddenly remember that existed. So I'm working on that. I'm pretty excited to get that up and going. I thought I had my life together. I logged into my website and I was like, where is everything? I don't understand what's happening.
You have to start over?
People changed it. And I was like, oh no. I remember that conversation with my husband where he was like, what happened to your website? And I was like, I hated it. So I started over. And that was like a month ago. But that feels like
it was
last weekend.
It was way more than a month ago.
It was not.
It was.
Stop.
It's been like 3 months.
It has not.
It has, because we started building your website before we went to Vegas. So
that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Time makes me uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm reading Shock. It's a psychedelic book. It's called Altered States of Consciousness. Anyways, the first part of that book talks pretty heavy about time and the perception of time and the way that it passes and boredom and the way that when we are engaged with something that brings us enjoyment, we don't focus on the time at all. But if you put somebody in a room and tell them not to move and stand, or an MRI machine and sit still, that 10 minutes feels like an eternity. Not really relevant to anything, but you said the time thing, so I figured I would jump in there with something
I like that.
relevant that's to me right now.
Well, that makes me feel like I'm being productive with my time at least because it feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So at least I'm spending my time doing things that fulfill me.
That's definitely a plus. You want to talk about your metal detector?
I want to talk about a lot.
Okay, well, let's do that.
Okay, so I want to jump into the metal detector, but I feel like that's going to be a conversation.
Okay.
So just like a little sprinkling of things. Carrie and I went plant shopping, and I just rehomed almost all of my plants. And I'm going to move all of the plants over to where my garden's going to be for our food. I want to set up a little area to sit in. Which reminds me, future savings goal, I would like to buy outside furniture that's weather resistant.
Well, that's easy.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know I want to spend money.
Outside furniture is not very expensive unless you're going hard on the shit. I would like to, I don't know. It sucks because our back patio is nice and it's screened in, but there's no breeze. When we have the fans, it doesn't. But if we took a tarp and ran a tarp across the yard from the garage, the detached garage across the yard and staked it down, we would have a whole shaded area underneath of there. But they also just make the retractable awnings that you can push a button and it just goes out.
Yeah. The shade under that big oak tree in our yard is nice too.
It is. It is.
That's why I want to set up something out there. My metal detector, my husband bought me a metal detector, guys. And the little explorer in me is super stoked about it.
The little explorer and you was sitting in our yard yesterday digging up fucking trash.
I was. It worked. At first, I was absolutely terrified because it was beeping a lot. And I was like, oh no, my husband said there's pipes and whatnot.
Sprinkler system.
So like I'm pushing buttons and it's changing. And I was like, well, I sure hope if I hit a pipe, it lets me know before it bursts. Gives me like a little ting. I'll be like, okay, I'll move on. And it didn't happen. I just kept digging. And I was like, okay, there's no repercussions yet. Now I'm having fun. I was sitting out there and I would dig a little bit and I would look around and I would giggle. And then I would dig a little bit more and I'd look around like waiting for somebody to catch me and be like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is my property, digging a hole. No one's going to tell me to stop.
Mind your business.
So like I was digging and I was giggling. And then I got super serious about it because I realized nobody can stop me. So like I just started like really hard stabbing at the ground and like shoveling shit behind me. And Ivy's like so intrigued at what I'm doing. And the first thing I find is this old ass chain. It's like this long and it's all rusted and clumped together. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to remember this chain forever. I put it back in the ground. I put it back in the ground and covered it back up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I looked on the cameras yesterday to see what you were doing because I expected you to be out there waving your arm. And you're just sitting on the ground. And I was like, she's either really fucking defeated or she found something. And I walked out there and I was like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm fucking getting it. And I was like, all right.
I was having so much fun in our yard. Man, it really don't take much.
No. We did not go to the beach last night as planned because the first metal detector that we bought actually had a computer glitch.
With a lemon.
Yep. I had to take it back and swap it out. But the new one's charged and ready to go. So if you guys decide to go tonight, you'll have a... We bought you the little wand too, like you see on the Curse of Oak Island.
Oh, and that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I would do the metal detector and it would be go... And I'd be like, okay, it's here. And I get down on the ground and I dig a little hole and I bust out that little detector thing. And it beeps loudly when I get close to it. So I had like a nice sized hole here and I was like, nothing. And I'd move it and be like, nothing. And I'd bring it over here and it would scream at me. I'd be like, this way, boys. And I'd fill it in like a little bit so I don't get sidetracked. And I'd keep digging. I found a piece of metal shrapnel too.
Shrapnel?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. In my mind, it's World War II. I didn't dig it up, though. It hurt my finger, so I just kind of covered it back up. I didn't cut myself. I'm not trying to get tetanus, but that's why I didn't continue digging it. Yeah. I am going to have so much fun with this metal detector.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go.
You know that because of where we live and pirates being very prevalent in Southwest Florida, like very, very prevalent. It would not be unrealistic for you to find gold pirate artifacts.
I gotta say it, booty.
I mean, you treasure hunt and I'll follow the booty.
Yes.
I agree.
I love it.
Me too. It works. until I get tired and I have to sit in new fancy chairs that I bought so that I can sit and watch you metal detect.
Yeah. Is that fun for you? Like, are you enjoying your time?
I did not enjoy the last time we were at the beach because I had to stand the
yeah.
entire time and my back's fucked up. But I also don't really like the beach very much. I've had skin cancer twice. So I do got that giant ass straw hat. I'm going to be sitting out there looking like a ginger Demon Jones. I need to bring a little Bluetooth speaker, make it loud enough so nobody wants to be near me, and me and Ivy can just sit there and vibe.
That's smart.
What else do we want to talk about? We have so much going on. We've had...
You want to talk about the New Year's idea?
Yeah, I guess it's just plug all of that right now and get it out of the way. So first of all, thank you to everybody who's watching currently on Patreon. It means a lot that you guys are here. We are trying to continue to grow the Patreon community and the Discord community, and we're really trying to build a tighter tribe, so to speak. So thank you for all of you who are currently watching on Patreon. It means a lot that you guys are here week after week after week. If you guys are not subscribed to our Patreon channel, we highly recommend that you go check it out. There's live recordings twice a week, random pop-up lives from you, cooking content when you decide to do it, which is whenever you decide to do it. You're living your chaotic life, which is great.
Yeah, my life it has matched me and I feel very fulfilled. I'm getting things done. I'm feeling productive. And we're building businesses while doing it. It's nice.
We're also doing other cool shit because I bought a DJI Osmo 5 yesterday, and the wireless mics that we have, the lav mics, will connect to it, and it's really easy to use.
Nice.
So when you guys go do shit like metal detecting, I can go, here you go, Carrie. When you're ready to record, push this button, and it should just sync everything up and go. Should.
It should.
And if it does, then she doesn't have to worry about taking the big cameras and microphones and playing all that shit. It's just you hold it. It's like a little tiny GoPro. But if you've got the lav mic, the sound would be amazing. So we can vlog and do all of that shit again. I miss that.
Yeah.
Which is why I did it. I ordered that before we bought your metal detector, but it just kind of plays in. So if you guys want to see that kind of content, please go join our Patreon. If you join on the $15 tier, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. There are women's groups and men's groups and Voice of the Broken stuff over there and a whole lot of other things in the Discord. Speaking of things that you would have to do that you might want to be interested in doing, I should say, is we have Costa Rica in May. There are 8 slots left as of the time of this recording. We will be gone from May 20th to the 26th of 2025. We will be doing a nighttime a nighttime jungle tour. We'll be staying in an eco lodge. There'll be a chocolate tour, swinging bridge, waterfalls, dart frogs, whatever, like all kinds of crazy shit. Sloths will be out there. It'll be crazy. We're super excited about that, but the slots are limited. So if you would like to go to Costa Rica and spend a week with Peaches and I, go to our website, tobebetter.com, and hit on events. Speaking of events, we are currently, and this is the first time we're announcing this, we have 2 big announcements today that we want to talk about. The first one is we are trying to set up a New Year's weekend couples retreat. We have not located the house yet. We're looking at really big mansion-style homes in Florida because it'll be warm enough that if people wanted to go swimming, they can. We're looking for 6 to 8 couples, and we will be doing a split cost. We'll have catering one night. It'll be a whole ordeal, but we have to figure out exactly the house, figure out how many rooms it'll have, and how to figure out the couples aspect. Because we are still in the learning phases, if you go to tobebetter.com and click on events, there is a couples retreat New Year's Eve form that you can fill out. You just put in your information, it'll email you a form, fill that out, and then we can go from there. That way, as we get closer, we can mass email the people who are interested in going and do a couples retreat over New Year's weekend. It's technically the 27th to the 2nd, which puts us from Thursday to Tuesday.
Okay.
So it puts us past a weekend in terms of actual time, but I think that we should only plan for 3 of those days. And those will be like these are the 3 days you want to be there, but if you want to go for the full time, you can, kind of thing.
Okay.
That's still in the works. We got it on the website. It's ready to go, so you can fill the forms out and we can move on with all of that. That's super fucking gangster. The last thing that is currently in the works that we talked about this morning that I have done 0 prep work for, which I will at some point this week, we are going to do a weekend with Chris and Peaches. We don't know what we're going to do. We don't know how it's going to work out, but we are going to do some sort of giveaway where we fly somebody, a couple, couple to wherever we decide to go, and to spend an entire weekend with us, maybe Universal Studios or whatever.
Jet skis.
Full on fucking vacation for 3 days for you guys. So it'll be a fly you in, pay for your food, pay for the room and board, all of the excursions that we do, if we do a cruise, whatever,
Right.
whatever. I don't know what we're doing yet, but something.
Yeah.
And then once I get that, by the time this releases, that should be on the website as well. We'll call it To Be Better Giveaway, and it'll just be a giveaway tab so that you guys can click that, and we can try to figure that out as well. But I think that would be super fucking dope, because there's a lot of people who are financially embarrassed right now that would love to do shit that just simply can't because money's tight.
Yeah.
And if we could give somebody a fucking dope ass weekend to remember, that's not going to be the end of the world for us, we should do that. Go rent side by sides in Tennessee, like fucking something, you know?
Yeah.
I also think that, man, we have a lot. Holy shit. Tomorrow I'm sitting down with Mike from Force of Focus, and we are going to interview him for the Voice of the Broken. Once I'm done with the interview with Voice of the Broken and I've got all the shit done, Mike and I are going to continue that call into a business, fucking business meeting, where we are going to start reworking the Voice of the Broken to be mentors for men and actually turn that into something more than just a simple podcast. Mike is a phenomenal coach and a very intelligent man, and having somebody to aid me and like building that would be I think could do a whole lot of good for a lot of people long term. So I'm super excited about that too. But we're also looking into individual retreats that are not couples retreats. If we could do just random weekends here and there, that would be cool. But the first giveaway, I think we should do it for a couple and try to make content out of it, and maybe do like a coaching one-on-one thing recorded. I don't know.
I agree.
We have a whole lot to talk about that still. But when I mentioned it this morning, you said like, you know, you brought up the idea of what I was going to bring up. You're like, I've been thinking about doing something where we bring a couple and do some sort of giveaway. I'm like, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So I was hoping the telepathy would work a second time today, and it just wasn't there. Bandit said, all this sounds amazing, kind of heartbreaking because it's geared towards couples. This first one is geared towards couples because that's what our content is about.
Right.
We are an infant. We hit toddler in December. We'll hit our toddler.
Yeah.
We're terrible twos, right?
Don't call them terrible twos.
Well, technically it would be, whatever. We're getting to a point where like we have to start evolving this into more than what it is.
Right.
And it needs to be in a way that is going to benefit the podcast, but still allows us to have fun and live our lives and not make this a horrible existence of a job.
Right.
And doing individual couples retreats is gangster. But if we could do 2 retreats every 4 months and do one for singles and one for couples, right? We could do a men's retreat and a women's retreat and then a couples retreat.
Right.
You know, if we rented, believe it or not, you can find side-by-side houses on Airbnbs, and you can rent both homes.
Okay.
And if we did a men's and women's, you could fucking go stay with the women and I could go stay with the men, and we could do men shit, you could do women shit, and fucking have like an entire day of business, arm wrestling, weightlifting, whatever. You know what I mean? Like booger flicking. I don't know. Whatever it is that men do when we're together, fucking being debauchery.
That was funny.
But that would be a thing. And I think that's something that we should really heavily consider doing, because there are people who really want to do that, and doing it stateside makes it a whole lot fucking cheaper because people just drive to the thing. Be like, we could even host it where we give away retreat spots.
I would do a spa day, right? So we would have an allocated time for a spa day just for decompression. And then some type of outdoor activity that makes us be physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we should be looking at mountain stuff.
Yeah.
Do the physical day first and the spa day afterwards.
Yeah.
Got a whole lot of cool shit, man. A lot of really cool shit in the works.
Lot to think about.
I also shout out to Claudia, who sent us an email that said, I want to help Peaches see the orcas.
Shut the fuck up. Hold on. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. She has a family plan through Norwegian Cruise Lines.
Okay.
I haven't told you any of this.
No, you haven't. This is all
exciting. It's exciting for me. It's making me itchy. I signed up, got all that shit together so that we are part of the family plan. That's done.
Okay.
But it is for a cruise to be able to see orcas and the northern lights, and like a whole ordeal. So we could figure that out, and if we could figure that out, that could be an entire thing for To Be Better as well, where other people can go on the cruise, because I looked it up. It's not super expensive.
Could you imagine?
I'm more than imagining. I'm planning.
Okay.
Also, Robert, who owns the Curmudgeon Inn in Alaska, his YouTube's starting to blow up, and we have a standing week-long, come whenever you're ready to the cabin in Alaska.
Right.
If we did the cruise and planned it properly, we could leave the cruise, take the train to his cabin, and spend a week in Alaska riding four-wheelers, hunting moose, doing whatever it is the fuck we want to do in Alaska, and then fly home. And we can make like a whole 2-week ordeal out of it or however long it is, and that would be super gangster too. That's all the cool stuff that I've got for right now. I don't know. I have a whole lot of other things that I want to talk about and discuss, but honestly, I think I just need to leave that to the men's group because maybe not even that. Maybe I'll just talk to Sean about it. I don't know. Just cool shit. Somebody popped up on my TikTok yesterday that said, fuck having the people that you can call at 3 o'clock in the morning when there's an emergency. That's easy. But who are you going to call and brag to when your life is going well? And I was like, damn. Other than you, I have Sean. Because no one else gives a fuck about what's going on in our lives. Like, people are super salty that we're doing what we're doing and like thriving, and people don't want to see people do well because they're not doing well. And like, I don't want to be around crabs. Me and Jay and I have become super fucking close, and like we're texting each other all the time about what's going on in life and like working through things together. And I am like hardcore cheerleading for this kid because he's young as fuck doing life shit and it's super gangster. But I can be like, bro, I just did this. And he'd be like, fuck yeah, man, I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Like, we need more of that and a whole lot less, oh, it must be nice. Yeah, it is nice. I worked for this shit.
I get told a lot that I'm on my high horse.
Are you?
Yeah. When I try to talk about wins and whatnot.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does it say about the people that we surround ourselves with in day-to-day lives?
Those people don't hear my wins anymore.
Yeah, right.
Just to clarify.
Absolutely not. Why would you? Control Alt delete that shit. Remove it from the equation. I don't have a whole lot else. I mean, I do. I could do this all day. You gonna read the emails from the screen?
Yeah.
You're such a gangster. Did you see the TikTok I posted today?
No.
I stitched one of your videos.
Which one?
You'll have to go look at it.
Okay.
All right. Looking for advice. Oh man, there's emails in here.
All right. So this says adolescent. Right off the bat, adolescent alopecia, hair loss, and feminism.
Fucking feminism. This is not going to be a good email.
Yeah. Well, it says themes is young girls, societal expectations, and beauty norms. And editorial note. While I do think there are good conversations that can be had about masculine/feminine and being a good man/woman, I think it is important to remember that a child is still a child.
Yep.
The focus should be on being a good person, understanding the relationship between choices and consequence, between choice and consequence, developing a moral foundation, and learning how to interact with society while creating a sense of self that allows that child to go into the world and make wiser decisions for themselves, not in how a preteen can be a good wife.
Before we go any further than that, when I made the feminism joke, I made a mistake of going through and reading reviews the other day, and some of the shit that people fucking complain about is just astounding.
Oh, you mean reviews to us?
Yeah. Somebody's it doesn't matter. What it said doesn't matter. It was fucking stupid that somebody took their time out to even do that because they wasted more time typing the review than we did wasting time in the episode that they were complaining about.
Okay.
Somebody else made a comment about how much I shit on feminism and how much it's a problem for them. When I hear the word feminism, I hear brotherhood, but for women, the way that it should be. But because of what we do, I know that's not the case.
Right.
So there's a distaste in my mouth for the word. If feminism actually had the brotherhood the way that it's supposed to have, or the sisterhood, or whatever you want to call it, of what it should be, this would have just been adolescent alopecia, period. There would have been no and feminism, because then it would have been a positive email. And the support that I found in women who want to be there for me as a young woman with alopecia. That's how that should read.
Right.
Okay. And if there wasn't a negative connotation to what feminism is and what's going on in that situation, which I haven't read this, so I could be making this shit up, it would be a very different conversation.
Right.
Okay.
Blows
Cognitive
my mind.
bias.
Yeah. It blows my mind that people will get hung up on the things that you dislike, but I dislike the same things, but never say anything about it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I don't give a shit. It bothered me a lot at first. Now I just roll my eyes at
I just don't understand. Like, is that really just your selective hearing happening?
It's probably my inflection, my tone.
Okay.
You're much more like, whoa. And I'm like, whoa! And I'm a lot for people. I get it. It's okay. I don't mind.
Did you really just hit me with I'm Shaggy?
No, you're dude from the turtle from fucking
Oh,
Nemo.
yeah.
You were like, dude, and you were like, whoa, dude.
And I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, it's you.
Hell yeah. What did I say? I did something the other day and I was like, yep, there's that walking intrusive thought.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember what I said?
I don't know who called you a living intrusive thought, but that actually made your day.
It did. It was funny, yeah.
Last week's episode is pretty wild. I'm very curious to see how that episode is going to pan out.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole lot of stupidity. I have too much insecurities in my own brain. Somebody be like, hey, I hope you have a great day. And I'm like, I hope you do too. And I'm like, did I say that right? Did that sound stupid? Should I have just given them the nod and be like, yeah. Okay, back to the episode.
All right, continuing on. So it says, good morning. My preteen daughter has alopecia, which is an autoimmune disease that she has had since she was a young child that causes hair loss with no warning. She most recently lost all of her hair in 2020 and has remained bald since then. Her father believes that she needs to be forced to wear a wig in order to fit in with society, have the most opportunity as a woman, and be feminine enough to find a good husband in the future.
Okay, pause. How do you feel about that?
I am disgusted by this father's mindset.
I kind of am too, right? There's a reality to this
Right.
that is honest,
It is.
but there's a whole lot of bullshit in that. You know how many bald-headed
Right.
women we know?
A lot.
Right. Like, you don't have to be super feminine to be successful. You don't, like at that point, you're saying that you're not worth anything. You don't bring anything of value to your career path other than your appearance.
Yeah. Your hair is where your worth is
Right.
what he's saying.
To a child.
Yeah. Who's going to take that very literal?
You know how many people still, and this is not me trying to relate their situation to us, but how many people will look at me and go, I won't listen to anything he says because he's got tattoos on his face. Well, you're closed-minded, and good for you, bro. I hope that your narrow perspective of life serves you well, and that tunnel vision doesn't get you hit by a bus. The things that I have gone through in my life have got me where I am. My tattoos are markings of that.
Right.
My love for artwork or psychedelics or music or fucking hiking has nothing to do with my ability to problem solve or have a conversation or tattoo or paint or whatever, because those are all facets of who I am as a person. This is the labels conversation that we had the other day. To put all of that on that young woman about who she's going to be is based solely off of her appearance tells her that she has no inherent value in the world.
Right.
I really don't. I gotta be honest. That just kind of fucking like that hurts. Like I'm not even mad about it. That just hurts. Like why would you say that shit to a child? A preteen.
I'm imagining like 11 or 12.
Yeah. Or 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the preteen era for me. It might not be accurate. It could just be 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. That's rough.
Continuing on.
Yep.
She's totally opposed to the wig and has expressed that it causes her to not feel like her true self, and she feels like she is covering her up her alopecia and hiding from it, and that wearing a wig brings her more negative attention than her confidently owning her alopecia.
That is the strongest thing that we have ever read in a fucking email.
And it's from a child.
Yep. She does not give a shit what other people have to say about her.
Yeah. And recognizing that trying to fit into society will get her picked on.
Right. She is totally opposed to the wig and expressed that it causes her to not feel like her true self, that she is covering up her alopecia and hiding from it, and that wearing a wig brings her more negative attention than her confidently owning the alopecia. So two things. One, obviously you can buy a high-end wig and you would never know that somebody's wearing a wig, right? But that comes down to being able to spend the money on it. The other aspect of that is this chick is like, this is just who I am. This is my body. Right? Like that, there's a courage in that most adults don't have, which is why people wear so many fucking labels to fit into groups.
Right. I hope our children have that kind of confidence at that young age.
Yeah. I hope that she maintains that the rest of her life.
Yeah. She also expressed to her counselor that she has suicidal thoughts over this. He is still holding strong and forcing the wig on her. I would love for my daughter to embrace her feminine energy, which she does through her gentle personality, exploring makeup and feminine dress, and in her day-to-day interactions. She is in no way masculine. She's just bald. What is your take on this? I think the dad's being a real big piece of shit.
Yeah.
And ignoring the fact that this is now affecting her mental health, forcing her to do something that she is not comfortable with doing. You need to back up. You need to recognize what you're doing is more selfish and more self-serving than anything else.
I just have so many thoughts on all of this. There's so many people that are bald, that are feminine, that are very like feminine women. Mm-hmm. And you can tell that they're feminine women, even though they're missing their hair. Like cancer patients,
right?
Not just cancer patients, but there are people who choose to be bald. Mm-hmm. And it works for them. That I just don't understand why you would put that on a child. My thoughts on this is that your kid needs to be a fucking kid still.
Yeah. And not worry about having enough hair to be good enough to get married.
Right. Where did the feminism come in? Because that said and feminism, and there was nothing in this email that made me stand out about feminism.
Her dad is saying that she's not going to be feminine enough without hair.
Well, I mean, that's not feminism. That's his opinion on what makes a woman a woman.
Right. Very close-minded.
There are women out there who have had double mastectomies that have years of splotchy hair right through treatments that can still be a very feminine, very divine woman. Your physical is only a part of who you are at your core.
Right.
Right. And your body's going to betray you. It happens. Mine's doing it to me right now. That's not something that you can control. Obviously you want to try it and, to mitigate that as much as possible with food and eating healthy and exercise and things of that nature. But this is an autoimmune disease. Why would you make it harder on her than it needs to be? Why not just let her fucking be a kid?
Right. I don't have any other thoughts on that.
Yeah, that kind of upset me. It was a rough one. I'm going to leave that up because I think that we should try to reach out to them.
Are you going to read this?
I can. Would you? I mean, you're doing the Dr. Evil thing over there with the dog. Would you like me to read it?
I just didn't know what was happening. You just started, so I can sit here and listen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I am a relatively... Oh, that means you get to pause me. That's exciting. Okay. I'm a relatively new listener, so sorry if this is touched on previously. I've been with my husband since I was 16. I'm now 25, so 9 years. I'm a wife, a mom, and a student nurse. We are grinding it out and paving the way. I could be a full stay-at-home mom, but... So that doesn't really matter because you just butted us. It will take my husband a while to build everything up with his new Homeland Security job. I'm not reading that line. We have always spent quality time with each other, and I've also been able to be at home with our son after giving birth. I had the luxury of the life that my husband gave me. Now we are in the thick of it. It's hard. Anything worth a damn isn't easy, though. We are now in the limbo of change from one walk of life to another. That's always a difficult thing. I struggle with these buffer periods of time because I could literally be with my husband and son frozen in time indefinitely. It's my happy place. While I prioritize my marriage at the highest degree along with my son, I have anxiety about change. That's because things aren't trying to kill you anymore. Can we talk about that for a second?
We can.
Anxiety is nothing more than an alarm system. It's a physiological response to let you know that something's not right. On a hormonal level, it could be a cortisol issue. It could be a hormonal imbalance. It could be too much caffeine or stimulants. There's a whole lot of things that could give you that antsy fight or flight feeling. The more you find yourself in situations that could potentially kill you, the less anxiety you have about mundane nonsense. You understand, like, I've gone through so much worse. I've hit rock bottom. I've come back from it. This just is what it is. That anxiety dissipates. I think that from years of evolution of us being fucking chased by shit and not being apex predators before we understood technology, we have all of these hormones that are supposed to be alert systems to tell us when something's not right. Like, oh my God, the woods just got quiet. Something's going to eat me.
Right.
Not my boss said, hey, I need to talk to you later. Now my fucking world is falling apart. Yeah. It's a short-term loss, long-term game. I miss my husband so bad sometimes, and it's never enough time. It's selfish, but he is mine and I am his. How do you think you would handle Peaches going back to college? We lived comfortably, but as soon as I finished school, the extra happens. Holidays together, vacations, the 100-acre land with a home, the kids' tuition, and the retirement at 45. We would have even more time together after I finished school than now. How would I feel about Peaches going back to college? I would fucking cheerlead the shit out of that. If you do anything that's going to make you happy, I'm fucking supporting that. Like, I want to be your biggest fucking supporter in life. I want to be the person that tells you you fucking got this on days that you don't want to, right? Like, that's the whole point of this. I want to live all of the really dope shit with you as well as some of the not so dope shit, because that makes the really dope shit feel really good.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to have bad days every once in a while. That's okay. We're going to have time apart for a little while. We're going to have 2 months of back pain that's going to fucking disrupt our lives. We're going to have kid shit. Like, that's just life. But it's not a bad thing, and I don't look at it that way. I look at it as this is just the season of our life right now. This is just one more obstacle that we're going to overcome, and life is going to continue, and it's fucking dope. We have a bad day or a bad week, but not a bad life. So if you wanted to go back to school, you talked about going to become a therapist. Like, we talked about that shit here and there, a counselor, whatever. I would rather you not do that because we have very limited time now. But if you were like, babe, I want to do this, let's do it. Let's go. Like, life's going to suck for 6 months. So what? A year? And...
Right.
This sounds like too much of improper codependency to me. Like, I just need to be around him all the time. Like, I need to be able to smell his armpit 24/7. Like, how have you handled buffer periods in your relationship in the past? Example, the first few months after a baby, death in the family, depression, medication changes, etc. With grace. You know what you always say? Have grace.
Yeah. Patience.
It's really not hard to understand that you're dealing with a whole other human being. And everything that you experience is your personal experience. And I could be on cloud 9 having the greatest day of my fucking life, and something could trigger an emotional response in you, and you could be going through it. And I could be completely fucking oblivious in the moment because I'm on cloud 9. And because I'm on cloud 9, you got to be on cloud 9. We're winning right now in life. Like, let's go do stuff. I don't know if I really want to go anywhere. Right? Like,
right.
Grace. Like, okay, well, I don't know. Like, there's days where I'm depressed and you're on cloud 9. You're outside fucking smoking and playing with your plants. And I'm inside on the couch watching fucking TV, doom scrolling because I don't really want to fucking do anything else. That's just the way things are going to go.
Yeah.
But I also understand that there are times where you need or want things, or I need and want things, and we suck it the fuck up and put our bullshit aside to make the other person happy. And that's putting in positive deposits into the relationship. You know, if you have 100 of those and you have a bad day, that one bad day is not really that big of a deal because you just had 99 days in a row that were fucking phenomenal, right? Like, got to keep a positive balance in the bank account. P.S. Your glasses chains are sick. I love them.
It just says it glasses.
Your glasses are sick. Okay, you're right. I added that because in my head it's always about the glasses chains.
Yeah. Opinions on bill paying. I absolutely love y'all's podcast and videos. I was wondering if y'all might have a discussion. It's empty.
Damn. Thought I was being slick. It was going to give me a little corn thing.
You went, damn. The audacity of me eating all of my own food.
Yeah, how dare you eat your lunch?
That was funny. I absolutely love y'all's podcast and videos. I was wondering if y'all might have a discussion I have missed or maybe can have one on this topic. So my husband and I are pretty traditional. We were both married previously and brought a total of 6 children into our big blended family.
3 more, you had a baseball team. Quitters. No, I'm just kidding.
Since gaining full custody and 50-50 custody of the children, ages 6 to 11, I have become a stay-at-home mom. I feel like we've read this.
Maybe. Probably. Because the 6 kids sounds familiar.
Right. It was out of necessity at first, and then we grew accustomed to it. It provides him the opportunity to work and take care of us financially while providing me with the opportunity to maintain the house and ensure our 6 kids are taken care of.
Hang on.
Okay.
It provides him the opportunity to work and take care of us financially while providing me with the opportunity to maintain the house and to assure our kids. So opportunity is a choice word there, right? Like, it's not, he gets to, it's not he he has to work and I have to raise the kids. I think using the word opportunity puts a positive view on it. Like it allows him to be the man, the provider, the leader of our home, and it allows me to be a mother. And like it sounds like gratitude, right? Does that sound like to you like opportunity? Because it's a choice word.
Yeah, opportunity. I associate that with a positive thing.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. Continue on.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good. I manage the house entirely, and it's a lot less stressful than when he and I both worked and split the household duties. We both feel much more at peace with our traditional roles, and I will add that my husband is phenomenal and jumps in and helps in the house whenever it is necessary without me ever having to ask. I truly am so blessed by our partnership. I only have one thing I wish was different, but I don't know how to handle it. My husband likes to say he makes the money and I spend it. Period. LOL. Period. That LOL felt passive aggressive to me.
A little bit, yeah, because it was a standalone LOL.
Yeah.
But maybe that's one of those things where this is a whole other conversation. Let's see. I saw Bethany asked a question earlier. Chris and Peaches, how can I handle emotional responses from my past relationships without holding it against my current relationship better? How do I fight my brain more effectively? You don't fight your brain, you work through the shit. Emotional responses from past relationships. Those are, you mean like learned behaviors? The things that you have learned to do to get you over situations that are habitual? Like you feel the need to defend yourself when someone's like, hey, you left a dish in the sink, and you're like, no, I fucking didn't. And like there's a whole ordeal out of that? Or is that what you mean? Like you're having emotional responses because of past trauma? Because if that's the case, that's something you have to work on. That past trauma shit's got to be healed. I think that a lot of that that learned response is the destroyer of relationships. We do things out of habit, right? We work through problems the same way. If you do something and it works, even if it's not done well and it works, your brain goes, okay, this is how we navigate this. The outcome wasn't the greatest, but there was an outcome. And even though it's not the best fucking outcome I could have, it was enough and we're okay now. And that it's enough and we're okay now solidifies that behavior. So the next time that behavior comes up, you know that you can pull from that and go, it worked last time, it'll work this time. The outcome may not be very great, but it'll be the outcome that I survive. And you continue that behavior and then it becomes habitual. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. That's really what it comes down to it. If you're happy with the survival instinct and just existing and scraping by safely, you're never going to thrive. And that's the best advice I can give you is unlearn all of that bullshit and learn new problem solving techniques. All right, back to the email. I don't remember. I was going to jump in and we were about to have a whole other conversation about
the passive aggressive LOL.
Oh, the joking. This is one of those things that you don't make jokes about divorce. You don't make jokes about your woman's gaining 15 pounds of extra weight, right?
Right.
You don't make jokes about how your husband is a fucking pussy and doesn't stand up to you to his family. Like, that's not a joke.
Right.
You're passive aggressively digging at your person, hoping that maybe something will change. So knowing that that's a thing, even though he says that, like I personally would question how much of that is an actual joke and how much of that actually bothers him. If he's saying shit like, I make it, you spend it, like, are you legitimately spending the money like that? Is this becoming like a normal ordeal, or I don't know. I'm very wary about jokes and pranks and making comments like that, because once that seed is planted, it can't be unplanted.
Right.
So for everybody that's listening, that's not in this situation, if you think that shit's funny, or if you make a joke that you think is funny and your partner doesn't respond the way that you think they're going to respond to it, you need to make a mental note of that shit and not make those jokes anymore.
Right.
So.
All right, continuing on.
Oh.
But in that, I'm expected to ensure all of our bills are paid and up to date. As the person not making the money, this causes me a lot of stress. I feel like I should be contributing financially, even though he says it's not needed. But oftentimes, I'm trying to ensure the bills are paid, and it creates conflict when I try to explain we can't spend money elsewhere.
This is why he should be dealing with the money.
Right.
We know that if you... There's a whole lot. And this is going to rehash shit from the first season.
Okay.
We know that when men make the money and handle the money, they spend the money differently than a woman does.
Right.
Studies have proven that you are less likely to go buy yourself a new purse or a new pair of shoes Where when we're out together in public and you're like, I like that. I'm like, then get it. Studies have shown like that's actually a thing. It's not just a Chris and Peaches thing, but
That's a thing.
it is a thing because I know how much money's in the bank. I know how much money has to go out. I know what we have. I know what we can spend. I know that if we're getting to the point where we're no longer putting savings away anymore, that it's time for me to ask for a raise or get another job because I handle all the finances.
Right.
If I'm going to work every single day and we're living at the cusp of our means and you are stressed over money constantly, and I think life is fucking great because I'm working my normal 40 hours and I'm getting my downtime and things are the way they are, there's an unspoken expectation of the life that we're living, maintaining that. Well, with inflation and groceries going up and fucking gas going up and all the expenses that we have, new vehicles, whatever, at some point I would need to see the finances to be like, okay, we're really not doing okay right now. Like we're scraping by. We could be balling the fuck out and not have anything
Right.
other than what's coming in. Like that's a problem. So I can absolutely understand the stress in that. But if that's the case, when you guys do your check-ins, which you should be doing, finances should be a huge part of that. Plug the check-ins.
Right.
Zach just told me that. I heard it telepathy right now. So for those of you who haven't done the check-ins yet, go to tobebetter.com and click on resources. You'll have to put in your email address. You can download the PDF for the check-ins. There's an updated for 2024, and part of that is finances. We expanded the entire list. For those of you who are not in a relationship that are listening that are fucking hopeful, go download the courting questionnaire. If you've got kids that are acting up, that are able to communicate with you, the kids check-in.
Yes.
And for those of you who have done all of that, fucking kudos to you. Did you download the recommended reading list and start on that yet? Because if not, you're slacking.
Get it together.
Get it together, Grouch. Okay. Back to the email.
Okay, back to the email. I really wish that he would make the money and handle the bills and take that weight off of me.
That's a conversation that needs to happen.
You have to scroll down, babe.
Oh. I'm invested.
I can tell. When I've mentioned it, he says he's just not good with handling that sort of thing. It's literally the only part of our life that I just do not like. I feel like it adds so much stress to me and I don't like that. We've had bills go unpaid and water shut off because I'm so distracted with handling the household and children and appointments and therapy and everything else.
Okay, so all of that is an excuse.
I agree with that.
Plug the Google Calendar thing that we talk about in the check-ins. It's not really a thing. Funny. Google Calendar goes a long way.
It does.
And if you are a stay-at-home mom, you can block off time frame, 15 minutes to handle bills every day, new bills, whatever, an hour, and go through all of that shit. Your water should never be getting shut off. It's not like you get a bill and they just turn your water off.
Right.
That tells me that you guys are living outside of your means. Real shit, if you guys are not on auto pay so that your bills just get taken out when they come and you have to worry about that shit, that tells me a lot about where you are financially and how responsible you are with your money. No, if anything ever got shut off, anything, cell phone, fucking Netflix, we're going to have a huge discussion about what the fuck is going on because everything's on an auto pay. Now, when credit cards get taken, it's the best way to clean out that auto pay. Because I'll be like, oh, I don't need this subscription. I don't need this subscription.
Yeah.
Fucking cleared up a whole lot of shit.
Save a lot of money.
It did. But it's also in other things as well. So there's things that I pay for that I know I don't need, but I pay for just to support the brand and the creators and what they're doing, like Flern. For all of my photographer people out there, like I've 7 years on this website.
Yeah.
$150 a year for the pro account. I pay for it and I'll fucking watch any of it because I know how to do all this shit. But that was such a valuable resource for me that I want to continue to support Aaron and what he's doing. Those kind of things matter, right? If this was us in this scenario, after I asked you to be a stay-at-home mom and we negotiated all of that and worked that out and the money wasn't right, you and I would have to have actual sit-down meetings about our finances.
Right. I agree with that.
And it would be treated as a business meeting.
Yeah.
This is where we're at for the fucking month of July. Where we made enough money to pay all of our bills and there's like $30 left over. If this is going to continue into August, we need to either downsize our life, find cheaper cell phone providers, get rid of a vehicle, fucking
things need to change.
Whatever we have to do to make it so that we have an extra $1,000 going into savings every month, whatever it needs to be. The fact that they haven't had these sit down conversations and she wants him to take it over. She's wanting to be done with it.
Right.
If he's not comfortable with handling, that's a whole other discussion too. If he's not comfortable handling his finances as an adult, that's an issue. But if this is easier for him and it's stressful for her, like this is a problem. This should be like, we should both be stressing over this together and we can equally bear this load.
Continue on.
Yeah, sorry. I'm invested.
You don't need to apologize. I do need you to scroll back up.
No.
Oh, wait, no, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right. Say that again. I'm just kidding. What are you thinking?
Nothing.
You're full of shit because I watched your mouth move like you were getting ready to say something twice and stopped. It's still happening.
I like it when you tell me what to do.
Oh, man. Why are you teary-eyed?
Shut the fuck up.
She said, shut the fuck up.
I like you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just like me?
Yeah, I'm feeling things.
Okay. You said in that TikTok you made yesterday about the man cave. I watched that this morning while we were walking. We talked about it a little bit. The support that comes from that shit goes a long fucking way. And knowing that like you want to see me do things that I enjoy because we're going to share it together, right? Like the metal detector is yours. Will I ever use the metal detector? I'm sure I will.
Right.
Am I going to the beach to sit in the sunlight and fucking catch the rays and look for shark teeth? And no, I'm going because my woman wants to metal detect and I want to spend time with her. So we're going to go do that together.
Right.
So it really does come down to perspective. And the amount of people who got up in their feelings about me getting a man cave and them going, well, does she have a she shed?
Right. Does she have her own space if you're getting this?
Right. Is wild to me. I understand why, because people want their own independence, their individuality in their relationship. But when you look at what a house is, like, I mean, not for anything, you have your own rooms and shit there, but we've talked about buying an individual shed. We've talked about greenhouses. We've talked about all kinds of shit. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what we want to do and making it work.
Yeah.
With us possibly selling the house and wanting to move out of state, if that ever comes into fruition, I would have had to sell that gym anyways.
Right.
We would have to downsize our house if we moved. Because I would want to take this and get rid of this and put it all into one location, right? So that was one of those things that just kind of worked out. But I don't even remember where I got on the subject. I think it was because you said you liked me. Whatever. That was pointless conversation, guys. I'm just killing time.
All right, continuing on. So when I forget, it's just a big issue. We never really had a discussion about who does what and our expectations with this sort of thing. But it's just kind of been expected of me. And I wish I didn't have to really worry about the financial aspect of things. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Should I just keep trying? Should I push further to have the conversation that I'm not okay handling this responsibility? I know the sole provider for a family our size that he's got a lot on his plate, as do I. I just kind of feel like I'd like for this to be his role and not mine.
I think that's fair. I was going to jump in and be like, and this is why you fucking list out expectations during the courting phase.
Yeah,
not after you've had 6 kids.
Yeah.
The idea of, I think it's a man's duty to pay the bills, right?
I agree.
Like my job is to get it to the house. Your job is to get it to the table. So if we have running water, internet for Pinterest recipes, fucking electricity and all that shit, and the groceries are there, you should have no problem fucking handling the dinner aspect of things, right? So like it's a trade-off. The fact that they haven't had real conversations about him taking over the bills, there's a whole lot of things that you can do in this situation. You get 2 accounts, right? You get your main account and then a secondary account. Your main account has all of your instant payments. Auto pay goes out of that account. And at the end of the month, if there's $300 left over, you move that $300 into your personal account or into the secondary. And then we have $300 this month if you want to buy fans. Mm-hmm. You want new pots, there's $300. This is what we have to spend for the entire month of play money. We got like $75 a week. How do you want to make this work? Right? Like,
right.
It's there. The main account's not fucked with at all. All of your bills are going to get paid, and what you have left over is play money, if that's how you want to live your life. And that's something that needs to be a discussion. That way you're not worrying about shit getting turned off.
Right.
How do you miss that many notices? Do you have everything set to not actually send you physical bills, and it's all going to one email address that's full of spam? Because if that's the case, you need to fucking set up a bill email address. chrisandpeachesbills@gmail.com. It's not a thing, but it could be. And you could use that as all of your fucking incoming bills. You have your electric, your water, your fucking sewage, your gas, Comcast, whatever the fuck you have, car payments. Don't ever give that email to anyone ever. You'll never get spam.
Right.
Turn off all of that fucking incoming nonsense and just look for those emails.
You can also add it into the calendar where you're adding in all those appointments being made.
Yep. What do I got to do this morning? I think a lot of this speaks to people not having a routine.
I agree.
You know, you wake up, do your normal morning routine, go for a walk, whatever, come home, have our shakes. I'm normally doing business shit.
Oh, you're
first
talking
thing in the
about
morning.
my morning routine?
No, ours. Our morning routine. We wake up, we walk the dog. Well, you take the kids to school, then we walk the dog. And then when we're done, you make our protein shakes and I fucking do business shit while you get ready for the day. And then we kind of just navigate our day. But our routine is the same every day. If I wanted to start journaling again, I would wake up and journal while you're at school with the kids, and I would use that 30-minute round trip for you as quiet time for me to do things that are mine, that are not relationship based, that are not business life. It's just, you know, today her booty looked extra good in them white pants, right? Like whatever it is that I'm journaling about, because I need to keep some sort of semblance of my life. It's how I vent. It's how I therapy, whatever. I need to go to the gym. You set that routine and you establish it. If you know that every Monday morning when you wake up, or Sunday, you wake up at 6 a.m. instead of 7 when the rest of the family gets up, and use that hour to pay all of your bills, double check all of your shit. Don't get on social media. Don't scroll. You have you can buy one of them old ass calendars and just put on there what bills are due on what day every single month, and just fucking, it's not hard to stay on top of that shit. It's really not.
Right.
All right. That's the end of that one.
It is.
Do you have anything on that one?
No.
How long have we been at it?
I do not.
We have been at it for an hour and 5 minutes. We just fucking this is old school. We're just doing emails today.
All right, this one just says Patreon. It says, "Good morning, guys. I definitely appreciate your all's perspective." Okay.
Okay. Not even stop. You're just like, this is what you're doing now?
I closed my eyes. I don't want to see this anymore.
The other day we were in there playing video games and she's got a fucking calzone in her hand, and I walked by and snatched that shit right out of her hand and put it in my mouth. And you were like, what the? And I was like, I just wanted to take your food and eat it. And she's like, you want another bite? And I was like, no, I didn't even want this. I just thought it would be funny. And she's like, I love that you were dedicated to the prank.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. The stupid shit we do. It's so fun.
It is fun. You really just did that. I went, okay. Closed my eyes.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but she was trying to read, and I was scrolling the mouse up and down so the paragraph was moving. So
That's right. They can't see it. Oh, that's even funnier. Okay. I definitely appreciate y'all's perspective on relationships. Oh no.
Oh, big yawn. Fuck. Sorry. I'm good.
That is 100% how he talks to me when we're by ourselves, guys. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's funny. I'm excited to spend the rest of my day cooking dinner and treats and stuff, and then going to the beach later. Yeah. Okay, continuing on. Oh, I feel yawn again.
Don't you do it.
I'm trying. Yep.
Did we?
Yep.
Somebody's not moving emails where they're supposed to be moved to.
That doesn't sound right. back to you, babe.
As your eyes are fucking watering.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep open right now.
While we look for another email, this would be a great time to plug our Twitch channel where we play Dungeons and Dragons every Saturday night.
Yes.
So for those of you who are into D&D and into nerd anything that would like to watch Peaches and I play D&D, check out To Be Better Life on YouTube and To Be Better Podcast on Twitch.
I dropped my fucking Pop-Tart.
This is a 10-page email. Update is included.
All right, I have to leave at 2. We have 40 minutes.
Okay, so then let's find a shorter one.
Do you want to play 20 questions with the Patreon chat?
I mean, we can. Is that how you want to end the episode? Not another email, just fuck around until the end?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Oh, yeah, all right. All right, Patreon, go. You have to answer every question.
We don't have to answer every question. We have to answer the questions we want.
Love story.
Zach, we can do love stories. Zach said that he has a new D&D game coming soon. There's a real possibility that you and I may end up playing in a D&D campaign, and I may end up like being me in a D&D game. It'll be a whole lot of fun, but
Yeah. I plan on just bringing Nissa
yeah.
over to his campaign. Yeah, I really enjoy that fairy.
Alyssa said, I recently came across Critical Role. I didn't think I'd be interested in watching D&D, but so far it's fun to watch. It is. Critical Role is the extreme aspect of all of that because they're voice actors. But
Yeah, they are.
what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Pumpkin spice or cookies and cream?
Chocolate chip cookie dough. Why did you rehome all your plants?
I had to put them in bigger pots. They had to get bigger homes, so they got rehomed. What color or breed is your high horse?
It's Clydesdale. Black
Actually,
with white feet. We call them socks.
okay. Can we for real get that overwhelmed shirt? That's actually on my list of things to do.
What's that?
So I opened the ball pit this morning, and the first thing that came to my mind was, I'm here and I'm overwhelmed. And I was like, would you guys wear that on a shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people would wear that.
And they were like, yeah. So I'm going to design, I'm here and I'm overwhelmed.
You just pick your fonts. I'll get it together. Oh, phone call. Do you want to do a love story or a thank you?
We can.
A feel good?
So 20 questions didn't play out.
We can do the 20 questions thing, but like a lot of these things have been things that we've been asked before, like what our favorite color is. And we had like, what's your favorite movies? And we did a lot of those get to know Chris and Peaches in the beginning. This one is called Reply to Wrong Metaphor TikTok. I'd like to stay anonymous, please. We always do anonymous videos, guys. I just watched one of your TikTok videos, the wrong metaphor one, and really loved how y'all wanted to hear from a woman's side. I'm currently living it. My ex was emotionally, verbally, and sometimes physically abusive. I was never complimented when I got my hair done or whenever I dressed up. I had to ask for compliments, constantly put down or being too emotional and overdramatic. I had to ask him to open my door and pretty much treat me with the basic respect, and that alone was a fight. I have so many things that I want to say about that. I'll just keep reading.
Okay, keep going.
I left when he told me I wasn't allowed to wear a certain thing, and I looked too nice to do what I said I was going to do, aka thinking I was cheating, along with barely being there while I grieved the death of my brother. That was the final straw. I called it quits and took some time alone to heal. Well, good.
That is good.
I'm now with a man who respects his parents, his family. He's very looked up to because of his respect for people. He refuses to let me pay for things, always opens the door, compliments me all the time, offers to do many things for me, and I have a hard time accepting it. He's literally the perfect man. How could I not ask for more of him? He understands boundaries. He doesn't push things, doesn't force me to do things I don't want to do. When I'm upset, he talks it out and always tries to find ways to help me. Sometimes I overthink it's a trap or that it's too good to be true, but I know it's not. Therapy has helped a lot with this, and I highly recommend it to anybody going through it who's left an abusive relationship and found a healthy one later on. I remind myself that I'm still a strong woman, but I can also submit to a man and still be that strong woman. He just adds to that. I used to think that I was this broken girl who could do better. There's people he could be with that wouldn't have these issues and felt horrible. I'm coming to the turning point of that I do deserve this, and I've come to accept and appreciate the man I have in front of me and how far I've come. It's a chapter in my story, and thankfully, it was not my ending. It has taught me a lot of lessons. Now I do my best to remind the women in my life that I meet that they are also worthy of this love and submitting to the right man. So many weird like transitions of sentences here. But don't settle. There will be someone that will pull you out of your masculine era and into your feminine. And when you find that, it's amazing. I want to end this with a thank you for your page. It's helped me a lot over the last year or so. All of your tips and stories, watching how you guys are makes me feel less alone and knowing that I am worthy of this love. Glad that you found somebody that is fucking treating you the way that you feel you should be treated. The beginning part of this with the ex that didn't do all of those things and now being with a man who does do all of those things, make sure that you're a woman worthy of a man who does do those things. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not worthy of a man who does those things and you find one, he's not going to do them forever. Right. You'll lose that. Just like the man who was not worthy of you and didn't see the value in you and wasn't willing to do those things lost you. All right, I'm done with emails. I don't want to do any more emails today. We're an hour and 23 in. Interact with the chat at all? You just want to wrap up?
I gave an idea and that idea didn't pan out.
Yeah.
So
there's only so many people watching today.
Yeah.
It's not like a super busy live stream where we've got thousands of comments coming through. Is there anything that the chat would like to talk about? Carrie, you can cut this little segment out. We can have a quick discussion and then wrap up because she's got 20 minutes before she's got to leave. What are you looking forward to the most on the next trip? The next trip is Thailand. Personally, I'm just looking forward to doing something outside of the US because this will be a new experience for me. I've traveled a lot in country. I've gone to Hawaii, but I've never gone outside of the US for anything. So this will be my first time abroad. So it's super exciting. Yeah. There's also a terrible fear there because of my back, but, I'm overly optimistic that I'll be okay. So what about you? What's the thing that you're looking forward to most?
Experiencing the culture and seeing the history there.
Super worried about the Thai massage. I may sit that out, even though that was something I was really looking forward to because of the discs. But what about Costa Rica? What's the most thing about Costa Rica that you're looking forward to?
The nighttime rainforest walk.
Yeah.
And staying in an eco lodge in the trees.
Guys, for all of you who are listening right now, when people ask us questions like this, it's hard to really pinpoint things that we're looking forward to because our life is dope as a motherfucker. Like,
I get to go metal detecting tonight. Like,
right. There's not a part of my life where I'm like, man, if only this was fixed, my life would be perfect. I don't have that. Like, I will take a little bit of bad with a whole lot of good. I'm good with that. Mm-hmm. But I have a whole lot of things that I am really looking forward to. The growth of the podcast and doing couples retreats and doing giveaways where we take people places or fucking being able to eventually get to the point in life where we can do philanthropy, like on a large scale, not just like a Walmart layaway payoff or fucking dog donations. Like, I really want to start doing a lot.
I want to start doing seminars.
So do I. And all of that shit just comes down to getting a couple of them under our belts on a small scale, figuring out how we want to make them work, and then fucking charging in. Because I don't want to go as big as I think we can and then not know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
That's one of our biggest problems. He says he doesn't want to lead, and I'm telling him that I'm tired of leading. You can't make somebody do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, if he doesn't want to lead, then he might not be the one.
I mean, if you're looking to submit and be led, absolutely. Like this is the conversations of the courting phase. What does your retirement look like? That's a huge fucking question that no one ever asks.
No,
because if
they're thinking about the right now.
Right. If you're 25 to 30 years old, you're not thinking about retirement. You're thinking about the fact that you got to work for the next 30 to 40 years of your life if you get a retirement, because of the way the financial system is right now. Like, that's a whole lot of no, well, it's out of sight, out of mind. Why do I need to worry about that? Well, you need to worry about that because if you don't have those conversations and you get to that point, somebody's going to be out their retirement dreams because you didn't have the conversations early on. There are going to be people that come into your life that will make you want to give up your fucking retirement. She did it.
Yeah.
Gave that shit up quick as fuck.
I'm still amazed that you gave up that.
I'm still amazed that you choose me every morning.
Yeah.
So this is a great trade. I'll give up that retirement any day of the week for the next 30 or 40 years of the life that we get to live together. That's fucking gangster to me. Like, retirement sounds cool. Camping
Right.
and living around in a van and traveling the world sounds really fucking cool, but doing it by myself sounds real fucking lonely, and I don't want to do that. Like I'm golden. So I think that excitement for life and the optimism that I have is still very new. Mm-hmm. The shininess of it all hasn't worn off. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's going to, because it's been years at this point. So
Right. I would hope it doesn't wear off.
well, I mean, like, at some point you're going to get tired of living the life that you're living, right? Like the tattoo artist, that was my dream. Like I wanted to be a tattoo artist and I accomplished it. And then I became a tattoo shop owner and like body piercer and body modification artist and did all that shit. And that was a good 20 years of my life, but that season's gone. Like we're in a whole new phase of life now. And the idea of having to even be in a tattoo shop, let alone working in one, is gross to me. Yeah. Like, so I micromanage through other people. And do I still very much love the industry?
I don't want to touch it.
Parts. The rest of it looks like a cesspool, and I'm good on that.
Yeah,
So
I get that.
I'm very grateful for all of this, and it's just crazy the way that it all turned out. But that came from me making a decision of the life that I wanted to live and what we wanted to do and how we were going to move forward with doing other aspects and put that shit away. Mm-hmm. It's in storage right now, right? We're experiencing new layout of the home kind of thing. Like, if you were wanting a leader and I wasn't willing to lead, we wouldn't have this, right? And that doesn't mean that this comes from a place of leadership on my part. You wanted a man to lead you. Mm-hmm. You found a man who was willing to do that. If you were with somebody who was incapable, living off the charity of others, just fucking scraping by, you would
and
be
okay with it.
You would be miserable. And there's nothing that you can do to make those people want to change.
Right.
Eventually, those people will lose something valuable to them, or they'll hit rock bottom and realize that they have to change to strive for the things that they want. Mm-hmm. But if they're okay with the way their life is and they're truly just okay, you're not going to make them change.
Right.
This is a great question that I think we should get into and then wrap up.
It says, what's a business idea you have always wanted to do but hasn't panned out?
It's a great opportunity for you to talk about the bath line.
But, well, that's panning out.
I know. Well, it is panning out. The first time that we tried that, it didn't pan out. Like, there was a whole lot of, this speaks to not quitting,
Yeah.
right? This is something that you want to do.
So in regards to the bath line, the first release that I did was a complete massive financial loss for us.
It was also a disaster.
Yeah. We lost a lot of product and shipping. There was a miscommunication or a misunderstanding in quantity and sizes.
Which the person made right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. It was a first run of everything.
Yeah.
So the first time you do anything, it's never going to be perfect. And
A lot of lessons learned.
a lot of lessons learned, a lot of recognition about the value in my time. That was a really hard lesson to learn. But here we are almost 6 months later, and Bumble Bitch's Bath and Body is in the works. We're in the finalization stages of things, getting ready to start producing product.
Right. So those businesses coming into fruition speaks to your mental fortitude to not quit. Mm-hmm. Because it would have been very easy for you to do that one run, go, I don't have the time for this. It took me 4 fucking days out of the week to package everything. It took me multiple trips to the post office.
Yeah.
I had to do the website. You had to fucking go back and forth with the person making everything. And there was a whole lot of logistics that was a fucking nightmare. Mm-hmm. And though it was successful, because it was successful, we did turn a small profit. Like it did what it was supposed to do. The lessons that we learned and the struggle of all of it would have been seen as too much for most people. They would have quit. Instead, we went back to the drawing board, figured out where we can improve on things and how to make things work and who we needed to invest in and how. And now that is going to become a thing. And that will be a dream that is realized. I've spoken a lot about wanting to own a coffee shop. I want like a take a book, leave a book, board game, just a place for people of intellect to want to fucking sit down and be around other people. I want social interactions that are warm versus cold, dead screen. If I had my way, which I may at some point, I would like to own a restaurant as like a co-owner and like get a giant strip mall and try to rent out the entire thing and do a restaurant, a coffee shop, tattoo studio, podcast, all in one building, and make it the To Be Better Plaza, whatever, right? And we could really turn that into something and have a restaurant where we're involved, although that's somebody else's business. We own a percentage. Same thing with the coffee shop. Tattoo shop would obviously still be mine. Podcast would be ours. Like, we would make that work so that we are generating mailbox money off of other people's dreams because we have the ability to finance.
Right.
I think that would be super dope. I started looking into food trucks yesterday,
Yeah.
like pretty hard. And like, you can buy a used food truck that's completely ready to go for under 60 grand.
Okay.
You could buy a nice one for 100, you know what I mean? And like, finance that shit. And you know, as well as I do, $100,000 finance, like for a business, is about your rent. Like when you terms of paying the loan every month.
Right.
And that would be a cool thing too. If you could do like if you lived in a somewhat populated area, like 250 to 1 million people, and like a nice populace, and you did like a stoner food truck and went hard with like big portion sizes, you could charge a little bit extra for those big portion sizes to make up for your loss. But like, you could do oversized pancakes. There's a lot of profit in that. Giant ass meatball subs with all kinds of shit on it, so that they have to eat it with a fork. Meatballs are fucking cheap when you do it right. Bread is bread. Like, you can make some gangster ass meatball subs that are, there's no way you're eating that. Like, you may have smoked a lot. You're not finishing that food, bro. Like, you could do oversized pizzas. There's a whole lot of like gimmicky things that you could do. And at like 6:30, hit social media and be like, this is where we're going to be until 2 a.m. Smell you guys later, right? You fucking people be pulling up.
Right.
I don't have anything else to talk about. I mean, I do. I
don't
do this
either.
all day long, but you have to leave in 15 minutes. So you want to wrap up? Patreon, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. For everybody else, remember, you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.